Welcome back. It's still Rubbing Minds this Sunday afternoon. And of course, we're going straight into a topic that has been on the minds of a lot of people over time. And it has taken different forms, different dimensions. But the question still remains, how well can you survive or exist without your social media handle? We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and the list goes on and on and on. And we're in a world where we are in a world, but there is another world, which is the social media world, where you can exist without necessarily being audited. What you see is what you get. Some have termed this an addiction. Some people cannot survive without their phone. If you ask some people, would you rather have 2 million naira or a day without your social media handles or your phone? Some might go for, well, let me even ask my guest. I have two guests in the house today. And of course, one is a blogger. Leila, how are you?
Very fine.
Looking lovely. Love the get-up and the hair. And of course, I have another brother in the house, Tiwalala Olanobi Jr., Dots Media House. And great to have you guys on Rubbin Minds.
Thank you so much.
So let me throw the question to you. 2 million naira or without your phone for a week, what would you take?
Okay, I'm going to answer like a business person. I'll need my social media.
What about you?
I'm going to definitely go with that. Maybe because we run, for me personally, I run a media agency that already makes a whole lot of money from social media.
A whole lot of money?
Yes.
Man, let me give you this is my address and my contact. But on the serious note, what can you do without social media? I'm trying to think of a time when we were on telephones and we used to turn the telephones, and the way to communicate was letters. And if you wanted to chat with your friends, you had to book an appointment under the tree or stuff like that. And for some reason, I just can't see that happening again. How much damage do you think the social media has caused, if at all? Let me start with you, Leila.
When it comes to personal relationships, we cannot deny the fact that social media has killed most of it. I know friends that would go to a bar, like men, they'll go to a bar, like hang out with their friends, and it's a rule that they have this basket, everybody drops their phone in it. Whoever has any need to touch that phone first pays the bill. Some might argue that it actually makes the conversation or the outing more interesting and richer. Of course, without your mobile phones, yes, of course, because finally you get to talk, meet your person, and you guys get to have like a heartfelt conversation. It's much more, have much more meaningful conversations in person than just fiddling with your phone all the time.
Some might argue that there are also meaningful conversations online.
On social media. There are. Truthfully, there are. Because on social media, you're able to not, as in at the same time, like, okay, like today, if you have a question, like you're somewhere and you want to find out the traffic on a particular part of Lagos, just go on Twitter. Ask that question. You have a lot of people rushing in to tell you, it's clear or it's not clear, I don't enter there, or, you know, this. Unlike where, if there was no social media and you needed to go somewhere and you're not sure of the traffic situation there, and you call a friend and you're like, I'm not there, I don't know how it is. I don't know if you understand. Now, this is the good side of social media.
Well, what is the bad side? Let me go to
I think that, to start with, life was way more simpler and meaningful without social media. Because now, like, it's just impossible. Like, you go out, like, you're on a date, you're spending so much time on your phone, or like, sometimes I'm in the office, I'm actually working. I'm supposed to spend 1 hour making a document, and maybe I get bored in between, I pick up my phone, and without knowing it, I spend 45 minutes on it. So it has the bad side, but looking at it, I think the advantages is way more than the disadvantages, because now, you actually don't have to go very far before getting news. You actually don't have to, you don't have to call anybody to check up on them anymore. Like, sometimes I call my friends, maybe after like 2 months, and they're like, oh, you're just calling because you wanted something from me. And I'm like, well, I saw your post yesterday and I liked it. And they're like, no, liking it is not.
It's not replacing conversation.
Yeah, that's the funny thing you should mention conversation. I take it you're married.
Yes, I am.
You've been married how long now?
For 9 years now.
9 years. And you dated how long?
A year.
Okay, now let me go into the issue of social media and relationships vis-a-vis married or people are dating. How did it affect your relationship from then till now with your partner? You could be in the same house, for example, and different rooms, and possibly not talk to each other, but you communicate.
Through WhatsApp.
Through WhatsApp.
It doesn't happen to me, but I know families that I know families that they are on the dining table.
Yeah.
Husband is at the end here, wife is at the end there, and they're communicating through WhatsApp.
Isn't that the whole essence of talking, to communicate, or is there more?
Yes, I think social media has complicated it.
It has. It really has.
Trying to communicate through social media now, it's too much. It has made everything complicated. Actually.
Has it? Some have the school of thought that the way you have a gun, if I put a gun here on this table, it's just a gun. For it to be dangerous, someone needs to pick it up and pull the trigger. So some of the opinion that social media, it's just there. It's people that make it.
Whether good or, as in, yes, truthfully, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Do you agree with that?
I totally agree, because social media is something that you can actually use for your own good, like for business people. You cannot do without social media. Social media is free advertising, free, and it's for free, and you can actually come as in, like, unlike before. Okay, example, like news anchors. You sit down at your table, you read out the news. You don't know who is watching you. If they have questions, they can't ask you back. But now on social media, we bloggers, we put out the news. People, our readers actually respond. They ask you questions immediately, and you answer immediately. Like, you know, there's an accountability. Yes, and your readership actually grows. Like, it can actually grow exponentially, because by the time you answer somebody and he or she retweets it, their friends get to see it. And they've never heard of you before, but they have seen their friend like talking to you, and you've responded. They'll be like, "Ah, she's responding."
Okay,
as they not come over and
let's take a look at the issue of privacy. Privacy from the angle of people putting out things that some people. I mean, for everything, there are always two sides. Yeah. Some people believe you shouldn't put your social life out there. Some people believe if you wake up in the morning to pray, you don't need to put it out there. Let it be in the corner of your room. And a couple of other habits. Who do you think should decide what should or shouldn't go out? What is good to go out there and what isn't? For example, when you get up in the morning, I can bet it with, if we carry out a research, a number of us go for our phone first before saying good morning to our loved ones or getting on our knees. Or some even go on social media to get their first daily inspiration or whatnot. But where do you stand on this particular issue of privacy. And social media? People should actually know that
people actually go online and share things because they want validation from other people.
Validation? Validation, yes.
They put out a picture and they actually go ahead and like distort it, try to make it look much more perfect than it as like they exaggerate. Okay, like okay.
You're a blogger, so I'm sure.
I had this incident one time. I went to a fast food joint to buy
a fast food
ice cream. Sorry, a fast food. Sorry, to buy ice cream for my kids. And I was looking around and I saw this young lady. She was at the desk by herself, and I noticed she kept on taking. She'll pose. She'll take a picture. She was alone.
Okay.
She'll pose, she'll take a picture, she'll pose, take a picture. Now, after looking at her, I was like, this is what social media causes. Yeah. Like,
what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? No, I feel like she's trying to, the way I read it.
Pressurizing herself, like,
you think
so?
Trying to put a picture that she is somewhere enjoying herself and
instead of actually enjoying herself.
And then she's, and again, they could actually lie and go like, as in that, you know, as in, they could actually lie and tell you that what they bought was 50 million or something like that, whereas it is not true. They make the pictures, of course she had some pimples and all of that, but they make it look so perfect.
My opinion.
Isn't social media just amplifying what already exists, where some people get up to live a life that they aspire to? Some people through social media aspire to live a certain life. Is it wrong to aspire to live a certain life on social media?
Yes, but I think that with social media, it's quite easier to live that life. Like in real life, without social media, you can't look like what you're not. But with social media, like with filters, it's quite easy.
Okay, we'll be back. My producers are in my ear now, but we'll be back to take a look at the issue of addiction. People talk about heroin, drugs, and all these other vices that when you hear it, you know, you're like, oh, stigma. But the truth is, the addiction is also equally great when it comes to social media and those who are online. We'll talk about how many hours is safe to spend on social media and some other topics right here on Rubbin Minds. Stick around.